Moon Letter, Astrological Podcast.
Eclipse Time by Ben Belinsky. Why isn't there an eclipse at every new moon or full moon? The simple answer is that in order for there to be an eclipse, the Earth, Sun, and Moon have to be in a straight line. But the Moon's orbit is tilted to the plane of the Earth's orbit. And because of this tilt, the Moon only crosses the plane every 6 months. So it's only then, when the Moon is on the same plane as the Earth and the Sun, that they're all in a straight line. Then you get an eclipse. A solar eclipse when the Moon blocks out the Sun, or a lunar eclipse when the Earth's shadow falls on the Moon, turning it a dark, dramatic red. The strange thing is that from the Earth's point of view, the diameter of the Sun appears to be the same as the diameter of the Moon. But in fact, while the diameter of the Sun is 400 times bigger than that of the Moon, the Sun is 400 times further away, so that they look the same size. What an amazing coincidence! Nowadays we can calculate eclipses for centuries ahead, where they will be visible, when they will begin and end, how long they will last, and so on. But just imagine the power you would have had in ancient days if you could accurately predict an eclipse, and imagine what an idiot you would seem if you got it wrong. There's a story about some Jesuit priests visiting China in the 16th century who were able to predict an eclipse more accurately than the astronomers of the emperor. Maybe these crazy Westerners have got something. But what we are still developing is our understanding of eclipses at the subtle level. Modern science, of course, doesn't recognize these energies. For science, if machines can't measure it, it doesn't exist. But people can feel these energies, and that experience not only gives meaning to the world, but actually helps us to survive. For astronomers, the influence of the Moon is gravitational, affecting the behavior of certain sea creatures. For astrologers, the Moon's influence is emotional, unconscious. Ask anyone who has been in a prison during full moon, or worked in the emergency department of a hospital. There is an energy that can be difficult to contain or control. Historically and symbolically, the Moon is associated with the menstrual cycle and the life journey of women. In some cultures, the Moon is known as a triple goddess, whose 3 aspects represent the changes from maiden, waxing moon, to mother, full moon, to crone, waning moon. Now, dictionaries give the meaning of crone as ugly old woman. That's not nice. It stinks of patriarchal misogyny. A more positive meaning has been suggested. A woman in her crone years is in a position to influence others. She is the embodiment of feminine wisdom. For astrologers, an important attribute of the Moon's role is to do with mothering, not just in the sense of giving birth and raising children, but in the sense of response to need. How looking after children means responding to their needs. In a more general sense, the Moon deals with how we take care of the needs of others, and also, and equally important, how our own needs are met. This is an emotional process, often unconscious. Busy taking care of others' needs, are you? Forget your own, do you? And being unconscious, this process is often automatic, what we do without thinking. Our automatic responses to the needs of a situation. But calling them unconscious doesn't mean that these responses weren't learned to some extent. And having been learned means that they can be unlearned once you become conscious of them. Now let's bring eclipses into the mix. From an astrological perspective, the points where the Moon crosses the plane of the ecliptic are called the Moon's nodes. There's a diagram of this on the Moon Letter website. The crossing point from south to north is the North Node. The crossing point from north to south is the South Node. These nodes used to be called the Dragon's Head and the Dragon's Tail, respectively. In the Vedic astrology of India, they are known as Rahu and Ketu. Their influence is karmic. The South Node is what we bring in from other lives, the skills we have developed, the unconscious patterns, the unresolved personal issues. The North Node is what we are striving towards in this life, to complete, to achieve, to move forwards, to move ahead. The South Node is a safe, known place. We feel comfortable there. We can recharge there. But if we stay there, we do not progress. The North Node, on the other hand, is challenging. But that's where we accomplish most. That's where we progress and where we truly become ourselves. And this is what gives eclipse seasons their significance and intensity. Events at this time, whether outer or inner, and whether you realize it or not, may have more of a karmic resonance, a sense, if you will, of your life's journey, of what some will call destiny.
And for more astrological and spiritual musings, check out moonletter.co.uk.